I want to make some observations and I want to bring in the BJP spokesperson very quickly because we are also going to call Delhi and Haryana. Haryana's 10 seats and Delhi's 7. If we were just to put out those numbers, Nizam Bhai, how would it look? Very quickly, if you just look at the overall number for Delhi. Delhi, there you can see it. At this moment, what are we saying? Let's go straight to the seat tally. You can see the vote share. The AAP has about 30.2% of the vote. But if you look at the seat share, the NDA is picking up all 7 of those seats. And if you are adding to that tally, you can see NDA is now only 2 short of a majority, viewers. 2 short. So we are already at that point where the NDA is coming back. There's no debate. 122 for the UPA, 120 for the others. Even if they were to combine, they're not as many as the NDA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay? Yeah. Let's now call out Haryana. 10 seats in Haryana. Let's have a look at that. That number goes up to 519 out of 543. 277, game over. Modi's back as Prime Minister, albeit he needs his alliances. He needs his alliances. Which are these allies that he's depending on?
One question.
Yes, very
Delhi,
quick.
is this with the Congress AAP alliance or alag-alag?
No, alag.
But if they combine together, what is the situation?
Well, we don't know. We'll have to ask the viewer. That Ajay Makan will be able to tell you better because he's been conducting an election.
Or
Sheila Dixit, of course, who says it ain't going to help us. So if you go by Sheila Dixit, she's going to tell you that it doesn't help. But Pavan Verma, the question therefore is...
If the AAP and Congress come together, it will pose a very major challenge to the BJP.
Major challenge. There's Makan's hypothesis being extended by Pavan Verma. Well, it hasn't happened as of now. And that's the question I want to ask you, Sanjeev Srivastava. Has Rahul Gandhi misread the electoral game? Simple. Has he not been mature enough? Many people have said he's not been able to tie up those important alliances that could have seen this becoming a more even fight.
Well, the only alliance which he has failed to happen, they are very crucial in Delhi and UP. UP, I think the
Bihar is still not out of the woods.
No,
Bihar is an understanding, but it's not an alliance.
Done. Maharashtra is more or less done. Karnataka is done. Whether it works on ground or not, your poll shows it won't, and I kind of agree with you.
Bengal hasn't.
On Karnataka.
No tie-up in Bengal.
Bengal is more or less. Yeah, Bengal is another one.
Very important state.
They should have tied up and put up one seats. Opposition candidate. So yes, but you know, they were caught between devil and deep sea, whatever. That you have to think a little bit about your organization, your cadre, etc. I have one big question.
No, come on.
Actually,
don't be so light on Rahul Gandhi.
No,
I mean, you know,
look,
Modi has successfully used this period of the last 2 months to do what many people thought he couldn't. Everyone said he was scaring away his alliance partners. He's brought them back in. Assam.
I've actually seen Mr. Modi more than Rahul Gandhi in the last so many years.
There you go.
So it's not a question of being close to somebody. My question is a larger question, Rahul, if you allow me to ask, and with JMA throw light on, is that yes, the conventional wisdom was that pre-Pulwama it was a close contest. Post-Pulwama, NDA, Mr. Modi has an advantage. Now the bigger question is, like you said, Rahul, that it's 2 weeks since airstrikes and this momentum will consolidate. The question is whether this momentum of nationalism, patriotism, which suits BJP, will consolidate, or will people return to bread and butter issues? That's the bigger unknown of this election, really.
Okay, let me ask.
Know the answer.
Sudhanshu Trivedi ji, let me ask you, sir. The hypothesis is कि air strikes ने आपको बचा दिया. The real surgical strikes have happened on the opposition because of Balakot. And अगर bread and butter issues की बात होती, if it was about jobs, if it was about agrarian distress, if it was about MSMEs, आप ये चुनाव हार जाते. You would have lost this election.
The bigger question is, will you come back to these issues before polling
Rahul,
happens?
I want to say,
it's still 3 weeks to poll.
If this would have been the fact, the last 3 state assembly elections which happened in the first week of December, ये eco हो रहा जरा इसको ठीक करवा दीजिएगा. That the month of September, October and November were the worst for BJP.
Yes.
On 2-3 accounts. Number one, at the time, there was a strong opposition on certain issues like GST and other thing. There was an SC/ST Act issue. There was on one hand, there is a caste conflict which is Congress was able to dexterously use, is still what they were able to achieve. In Madhya Pradesh, less vote than us. In Rajasthan, 1,40,000 odd votes more than us. So in the best possible scenario, what they have achieved, and if you look at your survey, the things are going in the reverse direction. It is not just because of Balakot. In my opinion, the decisive manner in which Sri Narendra Modi is taking this country ahead, definitely it is the key factor which is motivating the voters.
Vindication of governance. Is it true? Vindication of governance. It's not just Balakot.
One more thing. If it is said that the nationalism issue suits the BJP and the fundamental issues like bread and butter, अरे क्या कह रहे हैं साहब आप? अगर ये बात थी तो जब महात्मा गांधी ने आह्वान किया था, लोगों ने नौकरियां छोड़ दी थी, घर के कपड़े छोड़ दिए थे. ब्रेड एंड बटर इशू नहीं होता है, ब्रेड एंड बटर इशू होता है, मगर नेशनलिज्म और इन दोनों में कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन नहीं होता है. अगर वो होता तो फिर क्यों खड़ा होता कोई महात्मा गांधी के साथ, जो नौकरी छोड़ता, जो काम धंधा छोड़ता. Sometimes nationalism is one thing and development has
I want to make
come
a slightly different point, which is this.
Together.
One of the reasons why Narendra Modi has made more gains in the last 2 weeks is also because the BJP has shown itself to be a more pragmatic party in alliance making.
That's the
in
point.
The last 2 or 3
That's
weeks.
the point. That's the point I was making. That's the point I was making. The last 3 weeks.
In the last 3 or 4 weeks,
Yeah.
they recognized that they were seeing a slide, and they have, and in the same time period,
So the question is, what has changed in the last 3 weeks that has actually not made? Not
one
made
more thing I would like to add.
opposition parties who are looking
Whatever
for
he
an
has said, I would
alliance
just
with the
like to add one
Congress
sentence.
make that leap. What is it about Rahul Gandhi? I want to ask that question. Nishant Verma, what is it about Rahul Gandhi? What is it Jui Singh? Let me ask you, Jui Singh. Jui Singh, today your leader echoed Mayawati and said, stay out, stay out, don't confuse. You're messing up my prospects. Why do you believe Rahul Gandhi is a blunderbuss?
Rahul, we've already announced our alliance. We've divided seats. Nominations are taking place. But I would really like to ask Jay 2 questions.
No, ma'am, you answer my question.
Then it was
No,
stated
don't
that it was
divert.
the budget
I'm asking you, why don't you
Sir,
trust
I've
Rahul
answered
Gandhi?
your
You have no
question.
faith in him?
I will not divert.
No confidence? No confidence in Rahul? Tell me.
Sir, I've answered your question. It was a you can interpolate what you want, but I still want to ask Jay that when this survey was started, you stated 2 things. This was about the union budget, which is non-existent, and this was about interpolation of personalities regionally. So yes, Balakot was there, and I think we supported the BJP fully. I hope that fighting terror is an issue, but there is no dichotomy between the real issues and nationalism, at least not for the Samajwadi Party and the BSP. So yes, we have crops to harvest. We still have the minimum support prices not given. We still have the sugarcane farmers issues. All these issues will play out, and we have a strong opposition.
Ma'am, the point is not that. The point is, we are on the point that Nalin made.
That's
One
my
second.
point.
Nalin made a very interesting point, and one must go back to his point that someone has shown greater alacrity. Pawan Verma,
Yes.
on the ground, this was always going to be a game of maths and chemistry. Let's not forget this. You've been in power 5 years. We can see that there have been lacunas in your governance record, but somehow you've been able to very quickly pirouette. Balakot came in as a big disruptor, but you used that time to stitch up these alliances. Is that the difference today? Someone's acceptability and
Rahul.
someone's liability.
Rahul, sometimes I think, Rahul, the Congress party must decide whether these elections are an intermediate stop to the larger goal of reviving the Congress party in the long run, or is it about opposition unity in an effective manner that defeats the BJP in the next election? If they haven't yet decided on this, they are going to go wrong on alliances, and that is going to hemorrhage their votes. Even a non-existent alliance, for instance, with the BSP, or the Congress fighting as a third force in UP, or the Congress not seeing the obvious logic from their point of view of aligning with the AAP in Delhi and with repercussions in Haryana and Punjab, all of this seems to indicate to me that perhaps the Congress is more interested in a long-term revival of the Congress party than of opposition unity for this election.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting point. Nishant Verma, is this the reason why? Is this the reason why we're seeing what we're seeing?
Can I? Rahul, can I weigh in on this?
1 second. Nishant Verma comes in first. He's raised his hand. I'll come out to you. Yes. Nishant
First
Verma,
of
go
all,
ahead. Go ahead. Good evening.
First of all, let's not reduce this debate to a Hindi movie where, you know, picture खत्म होने से पहले actor hero जो है वो गब्बर सिंह को गोली मार के hero बन जाएगा. You know, this is Indian politics. India is a vast country, 543 seats. Nobody is going to forget the manifesto of the winning party of 2014. Nobody is going to forget the unemployment.
Sir, they are forgetting it very quickly under your nose. Have a look at the numbers, sir,
the country
please.
has gone through. Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete. Allow me to complete, please. Allow me to complete. You know, country is not going to forget, because this is exactly what happens with BJP, and this is a repeat. It is happening. They become arrogant. 2004 they lost because of arrogance. 2019 they will lose. Whatever the numbers are there, I'm not going to confirm them at all.
Okay.
Why? Because they're going to lose on the arrogance. You just heard the BJP spokesperson not complying with the Balakot statement the narrative that you're giving. He's talking about development and stuff like that. And there is where they're going to lose. Please understand, there is exactly where they're going to
Nishant
lose.
Verma, you're not answering the question. For some reason, in the last 3 weeks, Mr. Modi has been seen as an acceptable leader and Rahul Gandhi has been seen as a liability. Now let me try
By whom?
with
By
Sabha
media.
Naqvi. Sabha Naqvi,
Media
tell
is
me,
not,
what is
media
changed?
doesn't vote completely for India. You
I
see,
agree.
that is only
Rahul,
a media narrative,
there is
not
no
on the ground.
What I would like to add to what Pawan Verma was saying, Nishant, if you'll just allow me, I would like to add, wherever I see a contest happening, it's coming because of regional parties, where the Congress has not held up its end of the opposition game at all. Whereas the BJP has shown remarkable intelligence. At a time when it is strong, it has gone and ceded seats to opposition. It has gone and had generous deals with the opposition. The BJP, which ran India's first successful coalition government under Atal Bihari Vajpayee, has not forgotten those lessons.
Okay.
In the last lap, it managed to do that. This is as much about arithmetic. This election will be, just remember that the Congress has gone so horribly wrong on alliances.
In
They're going
Maharashtra,
wrong
the
on
BJP had
slogans.
doubled the seats of Shiv Sena in the assembly election.
23-25.
But had
And
there
not
not been
only-
an alliance
I
between
want
Shiv
to-
Sena
I
and
want
BJP
to add
now,
to the list
NCP
that
Congress
Pawan
would have run
gave.
away with Maharashtra.
There you go.
By coming
Can I-
together.
So there's a problem here. There's a problem.
Can I add
Suddenly,
to what Pawan is saying?
can I-
no, 1 second, one
But here I
second,
don't
1 second. I
understand.
think you made a good point, Sabha Naqvi. You've reiterated what Pawan Verma says, and I want to come out to you,
How is
Mr.
it that the
Rajagopalan.
BJP
1
is
second,
on the
Mr.
one side
Rajagopalan, simple
arrogant
question.
and yet more accommodating?
There is
How
no
is it
doubt
arrogant and
about one thing. You
accommodating?
look at that number, 122 UPA. 122 UPA. A large number of those seats will be Congress. Perhaps they're even closing in on 100. We'll have to do that at 9 o'clock. We'll do the maths. Navika will be back with the exact numbers of the BJP and the Congress party. But I want to ask you, sir, what about this big talk about Congress Mukh Bharat? Not happening.
No, it is happening. Definitely.
Where
it
is it happening, sir? 122
It is happening.
UPA?
Definitely it is happening. For example, I tell you, the way in which Mr. Narendra Modi has gone about, it has already happened. There is
122
no
UPA,
Congress.
120
Unless
others.
listen,
There is an
Rahul,
opposition staring you in your
Congress
face.
comes with 150 and
BJP
left with
is
60.
certainly not-
There is no Mahabandhan.
Sir,
there
at
is
this
no
moment-
Mahabandhan. And the negative politics played by Mr. Rahul Gandhi
Sir, 5
is
days
showing
after
the results.
Balakot, 5 days after
Rahul
Balakot,
Gandhi
when this
himself
poll
led the Congress
closed,
to 2 digits.
5 days after Balakot, when this poll closed, Mr. Shehzad Poonawala, you need to respond to me.
Yeah.
The BJP by itself is nowhere close to what it was, 283 in 2014.
Yeah.
Is this because despite Balakot, people as Nishant Verma and others are saying have not forgotten that their lives actually suffered? Simple question to you.
No. Sir, if I may. Sir, if I may.
Of nationalism will not consolidate
Sanjeev ji, you
in the
have
coming
taken over
weeks.
my time.
It will fritter away. Okay, sorry.
Fritter away. Fritter away.
Yes.
diminish.
See,
It will
let's
diminish.
be
It's a
very
good point.
clear.
Fritter away.
Let me be very balanced. Of course, the BJP, as you were showing in January, was facing a lot of trouble. But you have to, as much as this is about Balakot, this is also about once the dates are announced, Modi's leadership kicks in. That time, people were not thinking it's now becoming Modi versus who. It is going to become a presidential contest. Modi's personality is going to add weight, and that is also an element that you have to see.
Okay, 2 questions. We're going to take a short break. 2 questions. We're going to have a few more seats out. Precisely about 30 more seats we'll put out. And we'll see if those numbers dramatically change in favor of the NDA. Do they become more comfortable? But before that, 2 points. Keep in mind, viewers, the NDA has made it past the halfway mark. On its own, there are still 44 seats left to be declared here by Times Now VMR. Is the Gathbandhan not being seen as a credible, durable alternative? And has Rahul Gandhi's existential crisis begun? We're coming right back to those questions and more numbers. Stay with us.